a powerful storm landing on the fragile shores of one of the world's most isolated countries. In February in Tuvalu, as the ocean grew dark and violent, young photographer Getty Yee grabbed her camera and ran out into the elements. This is some of her footage and the experience of a nation seemingly on the brink.
Photography is something that I'm really passionate about because I started photography when I was very young. It all started with just a phone, a telephone, and as I grew older, I just became more passionate and wanted to learn more about it. So I captured a lot during the recent springtide, which was the worst for 2024, and it was actually the worst one I've ever come across. I think that everyone should know that Tuvalu is not only about climate change. I like to capture everything. I would even just capture parents just chilling with their kids in the airstrip, because every evening, that's where a lot of people just come together, Tuvaluans.
Young Tuvaluans like Getty are trapped in a dilemma. Like many of her peers, she's aware of the doomsday narrative that has engulfed her nation. They're being asked to decide between fighting on home soil or forsaking it altogether.
It was just a few years ago that Tuvalu's foreign minister stood waist deep in water to make an impassioned speech about the impacts of climate change on his country. Since then, not much has really improved. Tuvalu is still on the brink, facing oblivion. And will the world watch on as an entire country just disappears? It's a question that local people here are pondering every single day.
Tuvalu is comprised of 9 tiny islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and it's forecast to be among the first countries to disappear because of climate change, mainly due to the rising tides that bite away at the vulnerable coastline. Travelling end-to-end on Tuvalu's main island, Fongafale, home to capital city Funafuti, doesn't take long. It's only 12 kilometres in length. The country is so narrow. At some points, it's just metres wide, a tiny strip of land flanked by a lagoon and the ocean. 95% of Funafuti is expected to be flooded on a daily basis by the end of the century, if the world doesn't slow down carbon emissions. It would be uninhabitable a long time before then. Given those projections, Tuvalu has become the poster child for sea level rise inundation.
When we talk about the disappearance of Tuvalu, although it really downplay our resilience as Tuvaluans who have lived in this island for many, many years, but also the other side of the coin is really gain a lot of international attention when it comes to our vulnerability.
The government is doing what it can to ensure Tuvalu stays on the map. In September last year, the country's constitution was amended to state that Tuvalu's statehood would remain in perpetuity, regardless of whether its physical territory was lost. Theoretically, that shores up Tuvalu's existence as a nation, but also raises another discussion about a worst-case scenario, having to relocate the entire country to a new place. Already, people are on the move. A treaty agreed last year with Australia will grant up to 280 long-term visas annually for Tuvaluans. It's framed as a special human mobility pathway for individuals and families to live, work and study in Australia. For a country with a total population of about 12,000 people, it's a big number. There's hope that those who go will still come back.
Well, basically, our government continued to insist that migration is a definite no, but it's a matter of choice for our people. Our people have the liberty to live if they are willing to live. And I think our role as a government is to facilitate those processes. What are the pathways? Our role as a government is to ensure that we keep Tuvalu afloat. Because if we are to migrate to other parts of the world, and one day my kids will ask me, where is Tuvalu? Where are we from? And Tuvalu has already disappeared from the face of the earth. And then when we don't have any point of reference to tell our children and their children, this is where we are from.
The draw of greater work and education opportunities overseas is real for Tuvalu's youth. Gitty is resisting for now, but has friends who are ready to go.
From my own perspective, I wouldn't want to leave Tuvalu, even though we're being told a lot of things about Tuvalu, that Tuvalu is going to go underwater, and the thing is, we're just trying to adapt to something that we didn't create in the first place, and which is sad. This place is peaceful, it's home, everyone's friendly to each other, we know each other, and we could take our traditions out of Tuvalu, but it would never be the same as having it here.
Elder Kalisi Sogobalu fears the erosion of the values, languages and customs that make this place unique and special. I travelled with him on his boat to another island where he has land that his family has kept for generations. He can see climate change impacting everything, from the beaches to the soil and the weather.
Because we are Christians, our belief that Tuvalu will never go underwater. I think our leaders are trying their best to protect our small country. But let us hope it doesn't happen. But if it's happened, because we are seeing a lot of changing in the weather and climate, we might be the first refugees in somewhere else in big countries. I think it's more appropriate to keep it here. But if we have no choice because of the current situation we are now, then we might migrate somewhere else. But we will carry our own culture with us. Because we were born in it, we grew up in it, and it's very hard to just let it go like that.
Aside from major infrastructure development, the government has also been eyeing what solutions technology can offer. It's considering creating a digital twin of itself in the metaverse. The idea would be to timestamp Tuvalu's landmarks, features and culture before catastrophe strikes. But there's opposition to what would be an expensive experiment.
That doesn't really fully capture the essence of the cultural Tuvaluan lifestyle, which intertwined with the physical land. It's like a give up hope already for our nation. We are taking this digital nation as a way to remember Tuvalu, but that shouldn't be an excuse or a reason for us to run away from the problem. We must fight to retain that, to recover that, and maintain whatever we are able to save at this particular time. We must look for a long-term solution in terms of adaptation.
Dusk brings about a special ritual every night in Funafuti. People come out to swim and play once the heat of the day is gone. The golden hour is time to be cherished on this island.
It is very hard to imagine that not everyone gets to see Tuvalu sunset, right? And with climate change, sea level rising, people, Tuvaluans moving out of Tuvalu, they're gonna miss out on a lot. Not every place has like a sunset. Some place could be like very cloudy, or some big cities wouldn't even see the sunset. Like, I'm not, but Tuvalu, we just see the sunset and we just know it's like another day. Like we lived like the whole day, like we get to see that sunset, and every sunset is so different and beautiful.